Administrators in a Virginia school district dropping Dr. Seuss books as part of the annual Read Across America Day over what they say are insensitive portrayals of people of color. Spokesman says in part, research in recent years has revealed strong racial undertones in many books written and illustrated by Dr. Seuss. We want to encourage our young people to read all types of books that are inclusive and diverse and reflective of our student community, not simply celebrate Dr. Seuss. Well, Dr. Seuss helped a lot of people read. Tyrus is here, Fox Nation host and a Fox News contributor. How you doing, my friend? From New Orleans. What do you think of this move?
Morning, America's Newsroom. Dana, I do not like the treatment of Dr. Seuss. I don't like it in a house with a mouse. I don't like it with a box with a fox. I don't like it here or there. Bill Hemmer, I don't like this anywhere. They need to get off the hypocritical beaches. Have you not heard of the book about the Sneetches? I mean, come on. Literally 1961, he had 4 books that came out about diversity, understanding each other, and compromise. What more do you need?
One thing that I think is kind of interesting about, well, by the way, excellent rhyming, and
very well done.
Yeah. Here's the thing: they're going to stop selling 6 of the books. Now, the problem is apparently the illustrations. So why don't they just redraw?
The illustrations?
That's what they say.
I don't have one friend, and I have friends all over the world that look remotely like anyone in any of the shows. Or maybe my kid's hair after they get out of the bath. But other than that, it's ridiculous. I mean, we're looking for mistakes where there's not mistakes. Dr. Seuss is a great way to read, and they talk about things and we learn about things. I read that book, The Sneetches, one time, and I knew what it was about to be different and in respecting each other. Just read the book, The Sneetches. Literally, as fast as I can tell you. They had blue stars, the other ones didn't. The ones with blue stars thought they were better, so the other ones ran out and got their own stars. Then they mixed and matched, and then eventually they couldn't tell each other apart, and they realized they were all pretty much the same, even when they looked different on the outside. Sneetches.
You read that one time? I'm impressed.
One time.
Oh, the places you will go. There's a story out of Boston Public Schools about advanced work classes for 4th through 6th graders due to racial equity. What's the deal here, Tyrus?
Okay, as a former teacher, first of all, I never was a big fan of standardized testing, but when you look at testing, you have to look at, is it in line with the curriculum of the school? You have to look at, when are the kids starting school? Do they have Head Start programs? Are they starting at pre-K? Are they going into kindergarten? There's a lot of what have yous and whatnots whenever you're dealing with standardized testing. You always want to, and then the first thing they do is they say racial inequality, because that means you can't fix it. But if you look at the group, I think it was roughly 500 kids that had passed the test or excelled to go into the next level classes, and then they have what they call as the lottery. I guess you could look at who's making those choices in the lottery and the number of diverse kids that are in there to see if there's anything that's out of skew or off. But the bottom line is, whenever you're dealing with testing, there's going to be stereotypical questions that might confuse kids, but they're small. When it comes down to it, math is math, spelling is spelling, and we should be able to do that at a high level. But again, whenever we put the racial thing on it, it's like saying we can't fix it. And we need to really start looking at what we're doing in our early learning, what funding is going in there. We need to finally get our kids up to speed, opposed to punishing the ones who are excelling.
Yeah, we talk a lot about colleges, you know, K through free college, and look, maybe free community college would make sense at some place, but at some point we've got to talk about K through 12. We need to do better by the children and by the teachers, by the parents, and also we're in a competitive world, Tyrus. These kids are going to have to compete against a lot of people in the world
who value education a little higher than our society does right now. And, you know, the pandemic, we have seen a drop off across the board because, you know, it's not just, you can't just put your child in front of the computer and say, figure it out. Parents have to reinvest at a young age. You got to spend less time on your phone and more time sitting down going over spelling words and math. You know, you can't just put them in front of the computer and then give them their phone and have the phone give them the answers to give to the computer. You know, we have to reinvest in our kids, and it starts at home.
It does. I love spelling tests so much. Those were my favorite.
I know that you do.
Thanks, Tyrus.
Well done, Tyrus. Nice to see you. Speaking of kids.
Always a pleasure. America's Newsroom.
Right on.